What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JD. We back with another one. Today we got Target Block scoring systems. Now, when I first came to Minecraft and the Target Block came out, I went to YouTube like everyone else and probably looked around for Target Block games. You see a couple of different variety of games, but most of them have one thing in common, and that would be bullseye scoring. So they would have scoring setups where it would just be the Target Block and they have the target block and they just have it in subtraction mode like so. Grab a cake real quick. Where's the cake? I always forget. Not a creative player. There it is right there. Alright, a little bit of dust. So if you were to manage a bullseye on this, you get an output just like that. And then, they feed that right into a standard counter. Now, analog counters have been around forever. A Java player discovered, invented them, I don't know, like 13 years ago. I guess this is the first principal design. Goes something like this. These two are in subtraction mode. Cake here. Oh, wait, not a cake there. Oops. Cake right there. Solid block, subtraction mode. Solid block, dust. Alright. So that's pretty much it. Now there's a little bit more work because these things can only take a 2-tick pulse. You have to use a monostable 2-tick pulse. Let's grab this stuff right here. Repeater 2 ticks. Repeater 2 ticks. That's on subtraction mode too. Alright. And there we have it. If I place this bell, should go up. If I place this bell, should go down. Alright. There we have a counter. And like I said, if we just well, I've kind of built this funky, so you know what we'll do? We'll do it right over here. So yeah, they would have a game, and this is the game. This is the whole game scoring system. That's the most complicated game on Minecraft. That's the most complicated target block game we have on YouTube right now. Now, I've seen a couple dunk tank games where one player is like sitting in a chair or whatever, and the player shoots the target block and they get dunked into water. That's pretty cool, pretty creative idea, to be honest. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is what the game would look like, and this is what you see on YouTube. And I think that this is just such a basic scoring system. Let me see if I can get a bullseye here. There you go. All right. And every time I get a bullseye, this counter will go up. So they would have games like that. And that's a pretty cool game. But honestly, the target block has 1 through 15 values, and the players can deliver those 1 through 15 values. So it shouldn't be bullseye only. We should actually have a situation where we can determine who had the best shot, like an actual archery. Who was the closest, but not a bullseye. You know what I'm saying? That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is we could have graded scoring where a player receives a point value through 1 through 5, a point value for 6 through 10, and a point value through 11 or 15. In the system that I designed, this ended up being 5 points if you got a bullseye. Um, in other scenarios, it'd be 1, 2, or 3 points. But if you get a bullseye, it's 5 points. So I think that's pretty cool. And we'll take a look at that as we get towards the end of the video. But we're going to continue on here looking at some more comparator systems that are useful for our situation. So we got to take a few considerations in. So now we know we're going to be having two values coming in. What we got to do is, let's just get our two values. We'll just go with red and blue. I like to use concrete. Not everyone is a fan. I'm a fan. All right. So we would always have our two values coming in. Most of these circuits that I've seen for the comparison, let me back up a little bit because now we're going to talk about signal comparison. The comparator. It's got two modes, subtract mode, compare mode. Really fun. Nobody understands how it works. I barely understand how it works, but I got some concepts that I've sussed out from this thing, and I do kind of understand the modes of it to a certain extent. I'm not a super expert yet, but I do know a few things. So we're going to be having two values coming in, and we won't just be able to use one comparator to figure out, which is which, like, sending one value to the back and one value to the side. That's not going to be possible. So we're going to need more comparators. So what we need is a circuit that compares. Now, the first place I saw this circuit was in a Crafty video. Crafty's like my father, the comparator at least. Did I build this thing wrong? I think I built it wrong. No, I got it right. Here we go. Yep, that's not it. Is that not it? Goes like that. There we go. Okay, I knew I could build it. All right, so we have this circuit, and the first circuit that I ever used in my first archery duel game was based off of this circuit. And this circuit takes two values, as we can see. Got some levers here. Lever. I'll bring this out so we can get some more dust in there. All right. So the thing about this circuit is it takes the two values. What's going on here? Did I actually get that on recording? I swear I flicked that lever and it did not power. Bug rock. Okay. Alright, so these things take two values, and you give it the two values, and if it's equal, they'll both come out here at the end. The problem with this, like with any target block scoring system, is the fact that your values are going to be coming in at two different times, and you have no idea when the players are going to take their shots or what values their shots are going to be. So that's the first consideration. That's where memory cells are going to be coming in. We had a memory cell counter here, but we're going to be using memory cells for our scoring systems a lot. Um, when you have two values coming in like that, the way that these comparison circuits work is the signal passes through the comparators. Some of these signals will make it through to the end before the cancellation comes from the other side. So like 15 will be hanging out here. Uh, this one's on 13. All right, like let's take an example. The one player shot 13, and we already have their shot, and then in comes 15. If we had our score counter hooked up to this, well, that player would have got a point already, and this player is going to get a point. So that just doesn't make sense at all. So what you have to do is you have to store the values in a memory cell when you're dealing with target block games or signal strength as a whole. When you're going to compare two values, the best thing to do if they're not coming at the same time is to store them in a memory cell and then release them from the memory cell to your comparison circuit right at the same tick. And it's really straightforward to do. You just have two memory cells, you AND gate them together so that you have to have both of them. And then the unlock is tied to that AND gate. So once you have both of them, the AND gate unlocks and lets the signal pass through. That's how my initial circuit was designed, and that's how all my subsequent designs have been made. So it's just straightforward logic. I check to see that we both have signals. I check to see that they are not equal, and then we let the comparison take place. One last consideration is, like I said, in these comparison circuits where the comparators are doing compare mode and canceling the signals, sometimes the stronger or the weaker signal may make it towards the end of the circuit. So you also have to lock the end of the circuit until the equals flag is flagged false. So like on a circuit, like let's take a look at the circuit that I actually designed my circuit off of. So this circuit, CraftyMasterman, he had showed it in his comparator video. And I learned a lot from that video. If you want to know more about comparators, I highly recommend that video. There's a bunch of different creators out there doing content on the comparator. Even in the Bedrock community, just look on the TBA. I swear we got a lot of good stuff coming out. But anyway, this circuit right here, I actually like this circuit because it conveys the concept way better of what's going on when you have an equalization or comparison circuit. So you have two comparators in compare mode going into the blocks, and then the dust on the other side. As you can see, the signal is going to pass through to this side and same on this side. All right, let me finish building it here because I haven't built the whole thing. We got the torches on the top. As you can see, that's going to be our AND gate. And and these two torches are off. It's equal. Okay. So if both those torches go off, this torch comes on and we got an equal signal. Right. So that's like the first step. Um, the next step or consideration is it is not equal. This circuit will actually give you the greater of the two values. And let's take a look at that in action. Let me get some levers, a little bit of dust, so we can have the setup be different. Okay, here we go. A little bit of dust here, dust, or some levers on. We're going to put 14 into this one. We're going to put 15 into this one. Right now, as it stands, just like all these comparator circuits, because they are not locked and the signals are just allowed to come in whenever they want, they're going to give an output. So remember, when we actually go to design our final score system, it's going to have locking and timing to release the comparison at the proper moment. Let's continue with our example. So we have 14 going into this side, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put 15 into this side. As you can see, immediately 14 gets killed and 15 comes out the victor. Now what's interesting, if we take a look at the circuit, we have our equal flag, which is not triggered. We have our greater value. We have our lesser value. Everything's powered. Everything and all the logic has been done. The only thing to consider is the timing issue. So what we need is an AND gate to hold the signals for us, release them to the circuit at the right time. We need to check and make sure that the equals flag has not been tripped. And if it's not been tripped, then we need to release the signals out so that we can send it to our graded scoring system. Yes, that's right. We're going to have a graded scoring system that also determines the grader of the shots. So a player will need to get the higher scoring shot, and then if they do, they can also receive up to 3 points for a non-bullseye and 5 points for a bullseye. Players getting a bullseye will automatically, if there's a tie in a bullseye situation, it would be both players just receive 1 point. But if a player won with a bullseye and the other player had no bullseye, the bullseye player will receive 5 points and the other player receive no points. So I think this is a really interesting scoring system. It's going to require a new counter where we can count into higher values because 15 points just isn't enough when we can get up to 5 points per round. That could be 3 rounds. I mean, I guess it's a quick game. We could do it however we like. I wanted the game to go a little bit further. Plus, I needed a counter for another game that I'm working on. Anyway, let's keep going. So, like I said, the circuit tells us everything. Whoever designed this circuit, I found it from Crafty. This circuit's genius. And you can actually put this circuit together a bunch of different ways. Like, let me see, let me come over here and just really quickly get everything in the hotbar that we need. Pop, pop, need a torch. So you can put the torches like this, and then run the blocks like this. Alright. And once again, there's your equals flag. Of course, we need the dust. Dust, dust. There we go. That's one way to put it together. Here's yet another way to put it together. Cool thing about Minecraft is these blocks and stuff, they're like Legos, bro. This stuff goes together so many different ways. What is the best way? I had to build it up like this because we needed a little bit of space. So if you wanted to, you don't have to have the blocks in between the comparators. You can actually just have them fighting each other like this. And how you get your flag is you build underneath. I'm not going to build it here because this is basically one of my circuits already. Anyway, put your torches like this, and the AND flag sits underneath. So that's kind of interesting. Actually, just let me continue to build this up. I'll just break those blocks. I didn't want to make a mess of this area. But, yeah, you can actually build the circuit like this. Under that torch. And all we're doing is we're building up that same AND gate, except for this time it's not on top, it's on the bottom. Alright, that would be it, and there's our AND gate. So that's the circuit flattened out. That's what it looks like flat. But wait, there's more. So, as I began to understand the comparator more and more and more, circuits just kind of began to pop out at me. So what we have is this circuit. And if grab some lamparinos, throw those on there just like that, we have that circuit and built in another manner. Alright, maybe somebody else built this. I mean, once you start playing with comparators, this stuff kind of just jumps out at you, really. Anyway, let's show this one off real quick. What do we got? 13. Alright, 13. Still same timing issue. In an actual working circuit, we would want to lock this circuit until the proper time. This is for demonstration purposes. Alright. And then 14. And as you can see, it switched to the greater one. When it is equal, they're both off. To determine the signal that was the winner, you can actually just look to the right or look to the left, and you can tell. So you just know what you did with your wiring, and that's how you know which one is your. That's probably the smallest greater than circuit. Anyway, that's fun stuff. Alright, so I think we've covered everything except for the graded scoring. So graded scoring. So graded scoring is really interesting. It's like, how can we do it? What we need to do is we need to see if the signal strength is between a specific value. And how we can do that is with this little, I guess, signal strength gate. I don't know. This is what I came up with. And I think everyone would find it useful. So take a couple repeaters like this. right? I mean, not repeaters, comparators, excuse me. These blocks, solid block, solid block, solid block. And then from here, what you would need is comparators going in here. Dust, we need to get some dust. 1 second, 1 second. I'm not the fastest builder still. Alright, and yeah, I think this is it. You don't want any of these to be on subtraction mode. So this is our input. This is where our signal is going to be coming in. And these are the values for the different grades. So what did we say it was? So our first score bracket is going to be 1 through 5. So we need a barrel that is 6. So we'll just grab a little buddy right here. We'll put him right here. So the score will need to be at least 6 or better to come past this repeater. I mean, comparator. I keep saying repeater. That's terrible. I'm not going to edit it out. You're just going to have to deal, YouTube. Pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So the score won't be able to come past this comparator unless it is higher than the value of 6 in this barrel. So what we have happening is this block, this piece of dust, and preferably I like to put the score triggering dust on this side. This is our score triggering dust. So this signifies that a player has gotten a shot, and that shot is between 1 and 5. All right, let's move forward. So now anything that's coming here is going to be at least 6 or better. And we want to do that until the shot value is 10. So we're going to go get a barrel that's 11. All right, so we need 11. We're going to take 11, and we're going to put 11 right here. Now the same thing is happening. All right, when it gets to this comparator, which is in compare mode, the signal strength coming from here is 11, and it will cancel it out, and nothing will be able to come in here. All right, moving on. Now we have our final finale right here is the 11 through 14, with 15 being its own special case. So what we do for that is we just need a barrel that is, I think 15? Yeah, this is a strange one. Because we're using compare mode, not subtract mode, we're using the actual value, so it's equal. Alright. I think I've done this right. If I haven't, well, it's going to be embarrassing for the recording. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm an expert at this point. Alright. According to my calculations, if everything I said is correct, oh, it's like, what is this dust for here? Like, what is that dust for? So the same cancellation is happening. And how it works is we want to cancel these side ones as the signal comes in if it's really strong. Now my baby's crying on the recording. Yikes. We got all kinds of stuff going on. All right. We're going to leave that in. I'm a family man and I got a family plan. Let's continue. Hopefully, like I said, I've built this correctly, so we're going to throw 15 in there. And as you see, 15 goes to the end. Congratulations, you've done it. All right. Oh, yeah, I seem to know what I'm talking about. Anyway, continuing on, continuing on. We're going to put some more dust here so we can get the lower values. Let's grab our lever. Oh, too far away. Oh, not you. So 1 should be coming in, and all we have is our first activation. Maybe this dust right here is redundant. I don't know. I keep getting better at wiring, so I think that dust might be redundant. But maybe there was a reason that I had it. I'm going to look at the other scoring system. Anyway, let's send in 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So we send in 5, and we have the first one lit up as expected. Now for the first edge case here, let's send in 6. All right, cool. We got the first 2 here. Excellent. Excellent. That's what we want to see. All right. Let's check our hole bounds here. 14. That's what we want to see right there. Now, in a game where I said it was the 5 points, the bullseye point would actually be coming from the platform itself because if we remember, the platform actually has a bullseye flag on it. So this is the bullseye flag on the target block platform. So in my games, when I score a bullseye, I send this signal to the counter. All right. So that's the first consideration. So when a player had gotten 15, you'll see this is going to light up. That's going to give them that extra point. So they're going to get 1 point from the platform, and they're going to get 1 point from the advanced scoring system that we have. All right. And just remember, like right now in the series, we're covering concepts and everything right now. I really want to build up a toolbox for everyone to be able to have the tools that they need to make a target block game or any kind of mini game. And that toolbox includes counters, timers, what else do we got? Yeah, counters and timers is really it. And with those couple things and a few other animation and circuits that we have access to, we can make pretty much any kind of game we can think of on Minecraft. So that's kind of cool. All right, so now we have our graded circuit. Let's just test it. We never did test the 10, so that should be 10. As you can see, 10. So the player will be coming in. They would get 1 point, 2 point. All right. Let's test 11. That's an edge case. 11. So the point would be coming in. They would get 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. All right. All right. So we have our graded scoring circuit. And I still don't think this dust is useless. What's that do? It cancels that? What? I don't know. There's probably some reason, but I'm not going to think about it. All right. So where are we at in the video? We basically have everything that we need right now. We have our comparison circuit, and we have some other comparison circuits. I showcase some other stuff too. So we have all the technology to make some cool stuff. Counters. We have this counter, but this thing is huge. So let's head on down and let's take a look at some things. All right. So here we go. All right. So what we have here is some circuits. You know, these are some circuits that I developed. Um, a minute ago, we were looking at the flattened version of that circuit I showed you, and here's a fully flattened, fully working version of that circuit. Like I said, the wiring's kind of dense and crazy, but the only thing that is going on is this thing is holding the weight until it has both signals, checking to see if they're equal, and then if they're not equal, it is unlocking the comparator of the higher signal and allowing it to pass through. That's the only thing that's happening. All right. Same thing for this circuit. And this is just the one where the torches are above. And you can actually kind of see what's going on so we can see. So the green is one of the memory cells. And the lime is another memory cell. So the signals come into the memory cells. And when they do, their torches get turned off. So that's the AND gate. So there's a torch. We have signal 1. We have signal 2. As you can see, that is ANDed with the signal from this side. And this side is, they're all like, all the signals are ANDed together on this dust right here. And this dust is locking, where is it at? It is Locking something. Yeah, it's locking the output comparator. Sorry, this circuit's so dense even I have a tough time finding out where stuff is. Um, so it's locking this comparator right here, and that's the output comparator. And that's where our output signal comes from. And that's basically how this circuit works. That's it. That's really all it does. Two signals come in, it holds and waits until it has two signals, not just one. Then it releases the signals into the circuit, waits 3 ticks, which allows the equals flag to be flagged, which means this torch up here will turn on and it'll say that it's equal. If it does say that it's equal, it resets all the memory cells and clears itself out. So it's kind of like a function call. If anyone's familiar with programming, this thing takes two parameters: the signal strength, and it outputs either the greatest signal strength or whether it was equal or not. So yeah. Anyway, here is here's a full test setup of that circuit, and this was included with some of my world downloads previously. It's going to be included with this world download as well. We'll just come in here, and as you can see, I got it set up just like the Target Block platform would be set up. I'm going to go red 14, and we're going to go blue signal, and it happens so fast. So let's just do it again. I'm going to do a tie, and the tie is going to be that lamp right there. All right. Now we're going to do a win for blue, and blue's win flag is this lamp right here. So let's give them a lower shot, and then this guy a higher shot. Now let's just do it one more time. We'll give blue the higher shot. I just want to show, as you can see, the memory cells right there. They got an 11. The other memory cells down here. And the wiring on this particular circuit is actually really annoying to do certain things with, because you can see like the signals come in this way, but they also like come back out this way. So it's actually really annoying to deal with. This is a cool circuit, and I'm really proud of it, and I learned a lot designing it, but it's like flawed in many ways as far as wiring is considered. Um, anyway, let's continue with the example here. We're gonna give this one a bullseye. And it just happens so quick. Like it's a really fast circuit. It was like 4 to 6 game ticks for that trigger. And now we're going to move on to the advanced circuit, because once I designed the flattened one here, the flattened one allowed us to finally get our graded scoring included with our comparison. So now we have graded scoring and comparison to be possible, and that's what we have right here. And this is the new brain. The signals can come in from this way. One signal's coming this way. All right. Um, Signal A is blue and signal B is magenta over here in the circuit, just if anyone is wondering. So as you can see where the signals come in, we got a 1 right there. So let's go ahead and give, there are no lamps on this one, but if I press this button, you'll see that blue wins, and you'll watch this thing activate. There we go. And as you can see, it was a 14, so we only had 3 points given. And yeah, I'm really proud of this circuit. This is going to be the brains of the new archery duel and the brains of some games that just weren't possible before. Now that we can get like multi-score values from the target block, we can make some like target practice games where you battle your friends and it counts your guys' point values. It's not so much accuracy based, but it is accuracy based. Like we'll be actually in that game, we'll be getting rid of the comparison circuit and we'll just be using this part right here. I don't want to babble too much. A lot of this video is just a showcase of concepts, and like I said, we're going to be including the world download. This is the latest scoring circuit. Um, We're gonna move on though, because we got some more to look at. You guys probably saw them things in the background, so let's take a look at what those are. Um, Counters are really important too, so I had to start making some counters. What we have here is Eggfur, if anyone's familiar, technical Bedrock player and community member. Awesome guy, and I really learned a lot from his videos. You guys should subscribe to him. Anyway, this is his signal strength counter, and I was using it for a while, but as my understanding of how these things work increased, I kind of just wanted to make my own. And when I did that, I set out to make a 2 wide one, and that's what I got here. Now, when I was making this 2 wide analog counter, um, I had some considerations in mind, so it does have one minor flaw, and I'm surprised nobody said anything to me about it. But I'm just going to leave it as a secret right now and see if somebody figures it out. But yeah, this thing works pretty good. And this is the basis for my rolling counter, which I'm going to show you guys here in just a minute. This is the memory cell, and going forward, this is probably... Ooh, that's not good. I promise that's not supposed to happen. Actually, that's supposed to happen. Anyway, uh, what you have here is the counter, and we're going to be using this for our scorekeeping or anything else that we need to do with the target block in our mini games. I have some other designs. There's a couple different ways you can put it together. As you can see, the target block can be at the bottom. Everything can be over here. You gotta watch out for this dust right here, though. Anyway, this is the Eggfur counter, and it's really good. It doesn't have the built-in decrement, but you could actually build the decrement right down here. Not too much trouble at all. Anyway, uh, where are we at? Okay, so what in the heck are these things right here? What kind of counters are these? So what we have here is some base 10 counters with number display, but it's probably like not a number display you've ever seen before. But what we have is we have 10 lamps. We have another row of 10 lamps. And here is the zeros digit, and here is the tens digit. And how you'd view this is 1 through 9, and anything in this place is 10. So if one of these lamps is lit up, it's worth 10. So let's mess with this thing a little bit. All right. You press the button here, and it goes up. It's pretty cool. Or we'll just keep pressing the button until the other lamp turns on. Almost there. One closer. Just one more. So, as you can see, when this thing got up to 10, it rolled over and put 10 right there. Okay, and that's why it's called a roll counter. Another reason it's called a roll counter is because it's based off the function of an odometer, like on your car. So if you look at the odometer on your car, when the 9 rolls up, it rolls over to the next digit, and so on and so forth, until the rollover is complete. Anywho, we have a rollover counter in Minecraft now, and it's a pretty good one. It's 3 wide tileable. It's very effective. It has a 2-tick input. I've not seen anyone made one. I'm super proud of it. Anyway, here's the circuit broken down, and this is just one of the modules. I did name this one RC first. That's just because I have the wiring a little bit different so that these buttons can be wired up rather simply. Um, and you guys can see how all this stuff goes together. Like, I really put it all together for you guys in the World download today. I really went overboard. You got all the structure files, how they go together. You got the displays, you got the counters and everything. But before I get lost, let's just go back to the roll counter. So we have the first tile here, and then we have a second tile. There is no difference between these two tiles except for some minor wiring differences literally right here in these blocks. These things can be spaced right next to each other. As you can see in this, when they're put right next to each other, they line up perfectly and the circuitry activates. Like I've put the circuitry for the tiling included with the structure. So if you're messing with it in creative mode, you can just infinitely tileable. And this is a truly infinitely tileable roll counter. As it stands, it's just one digit, but as you tile to the left, you get more digits. You could make any number that you want within simulation distance and redstone. Uh, this particular roll counter is actually really nice. It goes up and down, so it counts up, and we can continue to count up. But I also included the roll down function. So let me just get it down here. As you can see, we're sitting at 10. If I press this, we should go to 9. And that's exactly what you see. And it is a slight delay in the rollover. It's as fast as I could get it. I would love to see a faster design or a better design. Honestly, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but damn, look at this thing. um, excuse my language. What we have over here is the initial first versions of this thing when I was coming together with it. Drawback of this one is it only goes up, it does not go down. I've included it just for legacy purposes, and you guys can see the development process of how this all comes together. Um, this right here is just a 0 to 100 counter. It's pretty cool. Um, a cool thing about these displays too is once you look at one of these displays for a minute, uh, it's really easy to read. It won't be hard at all. So that's pretty cool. We will be doing tutorials on this counter, the roll counter, and like the modules. I'll be doing a tutorial on this by itself. And then you'll just be able to follow that tutorial as many times as you want to make the counter that you want. I'll show how to make the basic display. I'm working on a 7 segment display. We're going to go over how to make this stuff. I got one more part in my concepts series. I think I got one more part. I think I can make one more video. Maybe I have it all here. No, I have one more part because it's the timers video. This was just the counting and the score system video, and I'm going to be including the world download. But the next video is the timing systems and how to make timers for your games, because sometimes we have games that are going to go to crazy point values and they're going to be timed based. So a player is going to win by points, but that's going to be like, player determined. We need a timer. So we're going to need some timers. So we'll be covering timers and progress bars. So we're going to have like animations for our timers, all kinds of animations. Well, not all kinds of animations, just the basic progress bar, really. But it won't be a 15 wide progress bar, it'll be a 10 wide progress bar, so it simulates 100%, which is easier for the brain to understand. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's your boy JD. This one's been fun. The world downloads in the description. You got structure files, you got all the things that I showcased. Stay tuned for more of the series. Like I said, we're going to be doing the block by blocks here soon. Right now, we're just covering the concepts so that we can get a framework in place to make a better target block game. Thanks for watching and thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe.